Welcome to Signature TV News. I am Charles Pius. In the headlines, tourism industry in Enugu State looks bright as government revives some abandoned projects. Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi accuses the Tinubu administration of milking the economy dry. On the foreign scene, Russian missiles and drones strike a dozen Ukrainian critical infrastructure. And on entertainment, Nigerian film industry loses yet another veteran. Now, the details of the news. The Enugu State government is taking steps to sanitize animal husbandry, which has been creating conflict in many parts of the country, including Enugu State. The State House of Assembly on Tuesday passed an executive bill for the regulation of ranching in the state. Signature TV correspondent Justice Ama reports that the bill provides for an agency which will regulate the operation of both private and government-run ranches in Enugu State.
The bill, when signed into law by the state governor, Peter Mba, will confer authority on an agency to be established under the law to permit the establishment of ranches in designated locations. The agency would also have the powers to regulate the management of such ranches in order to prevent the free movement of animals.
In developed world, the way to go now is ranching. You don't see anywhere herders take, their herds, their cattle, through the bushes, through farms, or through farm settlements to destroy people's crops, to eat them up, and then deface the environment, cause erosion, and every other thing.
The Speaker of Enugu State House of Assembly, Uche Ugu, told Signature TV News exclusively that the bill would effectively address the challenge of conflicts between herders and farmers.
The end thing is ranching. And what is ranching? You keep these animals in one place, in a secluded area, and bring their foods there. You understand? So, if the herders are no more occupying our bushes, of course, it will reduce the clashes because farmers will also have the opportunity, to farm, to do their farming, to do their work. There won't be issues of cattle eating up the crops of the farmers that normally lead to the clashes.
The Speaker described livestock farming as a critical part of the agricultural economy, which the Enugu State government wants Enugu indigents to play a role in growing it.
Livestock business is a multi-billion dollar business. We, as a government, want to open the space for our people to participate in that business. Up till now, it's like our people used to herd in the past, but now they have left that business. We want our people to come back and do that business.
Ranching has been one item in the debate in solving the herder-farmer clashes in Nigeria, which experts say are being worsened by climate change. In Enugu, I am Justice Ama for Signature TV News.
Enugu State government is keeping faith with its promise to restore the Enugu City Master Plan and give the state capital a facelift that befits its status. In a bold urban renewal effort, the state government is expanding many of the urban streets, removing distortions to approved building plans and demolishing unauthorized structures. Signature TV correspondent Chinemerem Ikebunam visited some of the areas affected by the urban renewal drive.
The earth-moving equipment are at work. Their hum and clang are what occurs in many parts of Enugu State. For many government officials, these are sound and rhythm of promises being fulfilled, projects to give the coal city a new face. But for traders, business owners and residents in Akpakpa, Noah's axis of Enugu East local government, the clang of bulldozers is the sound of destruction of their livelihood and they are pleading that the project's execution should be given a human face.
Government came and told me that they're giving me only 3 days to pack out of this place. Then I wasn't happy because I don't know where to go again. And I went to the market to buy so many things. And these things, I have not sold any of them since that very day. Then I started running helter-skelter. That where will I be? Where will I sell all these things that I bought? And no money in my hand to buy another thing. So, to buy anything to eat in my house. Even my children, we don't have anything to eat again. So I am now stranded. I don't know what to do. That I pleaded because I don't know that this place was marked for to remove as a main road. So I am pleading that government should know what they will do for me.
This is my container, and I myself, I'm a tenant. I'm living at the back. That bungalow there is where I'm living. So I just put this container in front of my house for what to eat, just like that. So, but last week, some group of people now came in and said that they gave us 3 days to remove this container. That, I don't know, no much explanation. They just gave us 3 days. You know, you can't fight government now.
Similarly, for Daniel Okafor, the road expansion has made the relocation of his business to Enugu a wrong decision.
It's not long I came back from Benue State, where I lost my business in a fire incident. So I had to come down to Enugu here and start afresh again. And I've been here for like 3 to 4 years now. And right now, we don't even know what to do. As I stand here now, I'm crying in my heart, honestly, because where do I go? You know, to remove this container, where do they want us to go? At least if there is something like that, they would have given us a prior notice, or maybe tell us this is where we are supposed to go.
A number of Enugu residents are, however, very happy with the state government. The congested Enugu streets, drainages that never really drained the city, and road networks that did not befit the coal city should have been addressed before now. The present efforts by the state government are a welcome development.
The passion that you're using to do the pump and load, I can say that government is doing well. It's not 100%, the government is doing well.
Actually, we've seen what the governor is doing. Nobody is against it. We are just commending him for the road that he's building. Nobody see good thing and will be evil at it. We love it.
The expansion of road infrastructure in Enugu City may be a pain for some people, but as part of his campaign for the governor of Enugu State, Peter Mba promised a comprehensive restoration of the Enugu Master Plan. That was why he was elected, and the projects are a promise being fulfilled. In Enugu, I am Chinemerem Ikebunam, Signature TV News.
The tourism industry in Enugu State will likely witness an added boost if the state government follows through its recent promise to revive some abandoned facilities in the state. Some of such facilities is the International Conference Center, started by the Chimaroke Nemani administration. Signature TV correspondent Chinemerem Ikebunam has been monitoring progress at work at the site.
The Enugu State International Conference Center, ICC, sits on a landscape measuring 10.1 hectares. It is located at the three-arm zone in the state capital with close proximity to the Government House, the High Court Complex, and the Enugu State House of Assembly. The gigantic building, which was designed to be a major center of attraction in the state capital, has remained abandoned until the present administration decided to complete the project. The abandonment of the project all these years has no doubt cost the state government the enormous revenue that would have been generated from the center if it had been completed and running. Residents of Enugu who acknowledged that construction is ongoing at the site pointed out potential benefits to the state when completed.
It's a thing of joy. And because he understands the import of, that's a conference center, it's going to be a tourist center. Not if we call it an international conference center, we may be missing the import. We may be missing the significance of the International Conference Center.
The International Conference Center is that of yesterday because we can say three administrations ago started it, and since then it's been there. But today it's almost ready for use. We can all see it.
They beckoned on government to remain committed to its completion. The state-of-the-art facility has provision for a main conference hall of about 3,600 capacity, a small conference hall with an internal area coverage of 987.45 square meter, and 1,500 seating capacity. There is also an 800 capacity dome that can seat 500 banquet guests, a shopping facility, a food court, and a recreation center with a mini museum park, among other facilities. The Enugu State Commissioner for Information and Communication, Aka Ezeaka, who spoke with Signature TV, highlights the reason for the resuscitation of the project.
His Excellency said he will revamp all ailing industries, all old industries, moribund industries, comatose industries. He will bring them back. So immediately he assumed the office, he began to work towards that. Today, the International Conference Center, which was begun by another government before now, was left unattended after the government expired. But would we allow it to occupy the space so that rats, hoodlums, and all that will be there? The governor said no. Today, International Conference Center has been re-awarded. The work has started.
He also spoke of measures put in place to ensure that the project is carried out according to specification.
The Ministry of Works has not less than 3 categories of people who will ensure that at every stage somebody signs it off. So if you sign it off, you are responsible for whatever is signed out. So it's not a case of somebody gives somebody a tip or money or something like that, and you now go home scot-free. No. If you sign out something, another person will come and check it. Then His Excellency will also check it himself. And then the press people also do there. We also encourage people like you in the media to also take advantage of what we're saying, to go and monitor it yourself.
With the presence of an international airport in the coal city, the conference center, when completed, will no doubt make Enugu a destination of choice for both business and leisure. It is therefore expected that the recent promises made by the state government to revive not only the ICC, but other long-abandoned projects in the state will be kept as one way of boosting the economy of the state. This is because such projects will create thousands of jobs for teeming youths and significantly reduce the level of crime in the state. Chinemerem Ikebuna reporting for Signature TV.
And still talking about abandoned projects, the Enugu State government under Sullivan Chime about 14 years ago demolished the old state secretariat built by the colonial administration. The old secretariat was to be replaced by a 4-block, more expansive, modern and more functional secretariat. In the 14 years, the new secretariat has remained an elephant on 2 legs. Some say it is a matter of perception, a cup half full or half empty. In this special report, correspondent Justice Ama traces the story of a secretariat half delivered with the part in use facing challenge of maintenance.
The old Enugu State Secretariat, built by the colonial administration, may have been a relic of an oppressive sovereign. When 14 years ago, the government of Enugu State under Sullivan Chime demolished the colonial structure, it was considered the end of a time that should be forgotten. But even then, some persons considered it a waste of public resources since the building had been renovated at cost to the taxpayer before its demolition.
People want to start their own projects, have their names written on it. They call it legacy projects. That is their own project written on their name. But it is naive for anybody to reason that way, because the history will be there. Posterity will judge you. Even if you inherited it and completed it, the history will be there. Okay? The records will be there. It does not matter who started it.
The promise of the new secretariat designed to replace the old one raised hopes that a new order was about to make the work life of Enugu State civil servants more comfortable and productive. With 4 blocks, A, with 3 buildings, B, 3 buildings, C5, and D2 buildings. The new Secretariat complex promised more space for the workforce and well-distributed pressure in facilities. There are provisions for walkways, driveways, car parks, stormwater drainage, and even vegetation area. The project, which includes alternative power to the public power, only had 2 blocks, A and B, completed by the Sullivan Chime administration. The 8 years of Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi administration did not place any priority on the completion of the project, leaving many government ministries, departments, and agencies operating from rented accommodation.
Secretariat was, conceived and executed by a governor. One would have expected the governor who took over from then governor, former governor Sullivan Chime, to complete work on that secretariat. But for one reason or the other, we didn't see work at the secretariat completed. I mean, it's so worrisome that when you go to that secretariat, you still see scaffolding here and there. No electricity in that secretariat. You hear generator everywhere.
The uncompleted Enugu State Secretariat is creating 3 challenges. The 2 blocks in use are facing the very pressure on facilities which the Secretariat was designed to solve. The dispersal of organs of state administration and public service is creating challenges of coordination, easy service interface, and easy access to the public. Above all, the uncompleted blocks reflects government as unperforming. Honorable Harrison Ogara is a member of Enugu State House of Assembly.
I went into the contracts that brought about the new secretariat. I wrote to so many companies, Tennessee, and especially Tennessee, that had the contract to do the installation of ICT. At a point, we discovered billions of naira paid to a company without executing the project. The other contractors that did the project, they are here to give me a reaction based on the letter I wrote to them to tell me what happened. Why did they not complete that project?
Ogara fingers contractors who handled the project as partly to blame for the non-completion of the project. He says a time to account will come because the legislature is willing and ready to ask questions.
The building of Secretariat in the first place was a scam. You know how much that was used, applied to demolish the area, the buildings there, and how much that was used to build the Secretariat. There were so many facilities that were supposed to be in that Secretariat, especially Tennessee. None was installed, money paid. And I challenged Tennessee to come out and say, these are the things we have done. I'm upbeat about knowing what happened to the Secretariat, how much was actually involved in the construction. At what point did the company abandon? Each of the companies awarded some in ICT, some in the structural building. So who did not do what? And how much paid? The people need to know.
A journalist and the national officer of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Rex Arum, who covered previous administrations and their handlings of the Secretariat project, Enugu State government's attitude is different. He says the Peter Mbah government would not leave the project unattended to.
We're talking about the present administration and its focus and interest in ensuring that projects that have been since abandoned in Enugu State are done. It's like saying the obvious, they're interested. And of course, they're not just interested, they have started action on those projects. We can attest to the fact that this administration is truly, truly focused on ensuring that projects abandoned in Enugu State. There are numerous other projects, and of course, the present administration is looking that way.
The current Commissioner for Information in Enugu, Ake Izaka, corroborates the optimism of Rex Harum. He told SIGNATURETV that work on completing the Enugu State Secretariat has commenced.
The government of His Excellency, Dr. Peter Ndubisimba, has come with a lot of watershed activity, behavior, governance, and administration all packed in one. Because he came with a novel way to govern a state. Why I'm saying that is that governance has been on in Enugu State for a long time. And he came with what he called disruptive innovation.
Completing the state government secretariat will be another promise fulfilled by the Pitamba government in Enugu State. It will not only provide a centralized and efficient workspace for public servants, it will also save costs and give a respectful face to Enugu City. In Enugu, I am Justice Ama for Signature TV.
Join us after this break. The Nigerian Labour Congress has added its voice to the condemnation of the planned cybersecurity levy introduced by the Central Bank of Nigeria on all electronic transactions, describing it as another burden on Nigerians. The introduction of the levy has sparked widespread criticism among Nigerians and civil society organizations. Reacting to the new policy, the NLC President Joe Ajero said such deductions directly affect the disposable income of workers and further diminish the purchasing power of the common citizens. He said the directive is another gang-up by the ruling elite to continue its extortion and exploitation of helpless workers and the masses. Ajero said the NLC recognizes the importance of cybersecurity in today's digital age, but noted that imposing such a levy on electronic transactions without due consideration for its implications on workers and vulnerable segments of the society is unjustifiable. He called for a collaborative approach between the government, regulatory bodies, and the stakeholders to develop sustainable cybersecurity measures that do not unduly burden the populace. And adding his voice to the introduction of the cybersecurity levy, former presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, slammed the Bola Tinubu administration for the imposition of the levy on Nigerians. In a post on his X handle on Wednesday, Obi stated that the government was interested in milking a dying economy instead of nurturing it to recovery and growth. He accused the government of coming up with policies that not only impoverish the citizen, but also make the country's economic environments less competitive. According to him, the imposition of a cybersecurity levy on Nigerians will further erode whatever is left of their remaining capital after the impact of the naira devaluation and high inflation rate. The former Anambra State governor said it was unthinkable to expect the suffering citizens of Nigeria to separately fund all activities of the government and wondered when the Office of the National Security Advisor, NSA, became a revenue collecting center. The Court of Appeal sitting in Lagos has adjourned till September 16th the hearing of the appeal filed by the chairman of Ibeto Energy Development Company, Cletus Ibeto, challenging the jurisdiction of the State High Court to try him over an alleged 4.8 billion naira fraud. Justice Mohammed Mustafa, who presided over the appellate court, adjourned the appeal to await the report of settlement talks between the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, and the appellant. EFCC had charged Ibeto alongside his companies, Ibeto Energy Development Company and Odo Holdings Limited, on a 10-count charge on conspiracy, fraud, forgery, and fraudulent use of documents before the Lagos High Court, Ikeja. Justice Ismail Ijelu had ordered Ibeto's arrest after the businessman failed to appear in court on at least 4 occasions to take his plea over the alleged fraud against him, despite repeated hearing notices served on him. Dissatisfied with the order for his arrest and the refusal of the court to hear his preliminary objection, the defendant filed an appeal before the appeal court, formulating 7 grounds for appeal. Responding, Chief Olanipekun confirmed that the parties are settling the matter in line with a judgment of the Rivers State High Courts. You are watching Signature TV News. On the foreign scene, Russian missiles strike Ukrainian critical infrastructure. Details in a moment. Rescuers were using cranes, drills, and their bare hands to try to reach dozens of people trapped when a multi-story building being built in the South African city of George collapsed, killing at least 6 people. Of the 75 workers who had been on the construction site, 48 remain unaccounted for, and authorities have made no comment about what caused it to collapse, even as families gathered waiting for news of their loved ones in tears, fearing the worst. There have been moments of hope as people clapped and cheered when rescue workers pulled a person out alive from among broken concrete slabs and twisted steel reinforcements. They have also made contact with other survivors as they scour the site with sniffer dogs. So far, 27 people have been retrieved from the sites in the coastal city of east of Cape Town, including at least 6 dead. President Cyril Ramaphosa has called for an investigation. President Volodymyr Zelensky on Wednesday said Ukraine was fighting Russian fascism during an address on the anniversary of the surrender of Nazi Germany in World War II. Zelensky spoke from a school basement in the northern Ukrainian village of Yadny, where nearly 400 residents were held under Russian occupation for 27 days in 2022. For Russia, May 9th is one of its most important national events for Russians as they remember the sacrifices made by the Soviet Union in defeating Nazi Germany. Soviet Russia and Soviet Ukraine sustained appalling loss of life in the war. Nazi Germany's unconditional surrender came into force at 11:01 p.m. on May 8, 1945, which was already May 9th in Moscow. Russian missiles and drones struck nearly a dozen Ukrainian critical infrastructure facilities in a major airstrike early on Wednesday. The Israeli army released video on Wednesday, which it says shows its military operation in Gaza Strip's Rafah city. Israel has threatened a major assault on Rafah to defeat thousands of Hamas fighters it says are held up there. Western nations and the United Nations have warned a full-scale attack on the city would be a humanitarian catastrophe. Israel's offensive has killed 34,389 Palestinians, most of them civilians, the Gaza Health Ministry say. The war began when Hamas militants attacked Israel on October 7th, killing about 1,200 people and abducting 252 others, of whom 128 remain hostage in Gaza and 36 have been declared dead, according to the latest Israeli figures. Nigerian film industry loses yet another veteran. Join us after the break. Veteran Nollywood actor Kanayo O. Kanayo has proudly unveiled his firstborn, Clinton Onyeze. As he embarks on his journey into Nollywood, the esteemed actor, who addressed the crew prior to the commencement of a film production, took a moment to address the crew and formally introduce his son to everyone, assigning him the roles of assistant production manager and personal assistant. Kanayo emphasized that in order to maintain professionalism, his son should be treated as an equal member of the crew and not giving any preferential treatment. The actor further revealed that his son had recently completed his studies at Babcock University and was currently interning to gain practical experience in the fields of filmmaking and management. Old times, old memories, and old rhythms came back in Enugu, the Enugu State's capital, on Tuesday, as the royalty, government officials, music icons, and lovers of high live music gathered in the coal city to remember and relive the memories of Celeste Nuku and his philosophers nationwide. Signature TV's reporter Jude Ozioko was at the glamorous event and now brings us the story.
The irony of the event to remember Celestine Ukwu is that his daughter, Cynthia, who is pushing the event, never knew her father. She was in her mother's womb when Celestine died and has only come to understand that her father touched the music landscape in a way many cannot forget easily. Today, as the executive director of the foundation set up in honor of the music legend, Cynthia Ukwu said she was overwhelmed by the crowd, the dignitaries, and the respect her father was receiving.
My expectations are coming true. Seeing all these people here, gathered for my father, gathered to immortalize my father, gathered to honor them. That's my expectation. I'm so happy. That's it. Basically, that's it. I feel very fulfilled now. Seeing all those people, my people that love my father, people, his fans. I can't express my feelings now, really. I'm in awe.
The Enugu state government is moving beyond the Tuesday event. The Commissioner for Culture and Tourism, Dem Madueke, said the state government will partner with the Celestine Ukwu Foundation to celebrate both anniversary of the music icon passing and make a cultural and value statement which Celestine and his music represented.
In commemorating Celestine Ukwu, we reaffirm our commitment to preserving and promoting our cultural heritage. May his melodies continue to echo through the corridors of time, reminding us of the beauty and resilience of the human spirit. His Excellency, the Governor, has asked me to tell Ndiabo and Ndebo that we are waiting eagerly to celebrate the Golden Jubilee, the 50th anniversary, which will be coming up in 3 years' time.
The highlight of the event was the unveiling of the Celestine Ukwu Memorial Foundation by the former Vice Chancellor of University of Nigeria, Nsukka, Professor Tinubu Nebo.
So my job, the first thing I have to do is to unveil for most of us here who have never really met this wonderful young lady, because most of us never knew that Celestine Ukwu had a child.
It's been an interesting event when we witnessed the unveiling of Celestine Ukwu Memorial Foundation, where the aim is to immortalize his legacies. Celestine Ukwu was born in 1940 and died in 1977 in a car accident at the age of 37. He is from Umuavolo, Abo in Udi local government area of Enugu State, and known by many as a peaceful and philosophical high life legend who believes or who rather advocated for societal change. Jude Pupa Ozioko for Signature TV News.
Elizabeth Evwebe popularly known as Valeria, in the 1980s TV sitcom The New Masquerade, has passed on at the age of 81. A statement by the family notifying the public of her death described Valeria as a loved and legendary actress who distinguished herself and her works in The New Masquerade, stating that she will be dearly missed by the family and her fans. The family thanks the general public and her fans for their support and for respecting the family privacy at this time. The veteran actress played a role as Chief Zebrudayah's wife on the New Masquerade TV sitcom. Veteran actor Jide Kosoko, in a press interview, described the late actress as a disciplined woman who had contributed immensely to the growth of the entertainment industry. That's the size of the package. I'm Charles Pius. Thanks for watching.